Dawson Rider with you.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with my review of LVUR Series 08. This is a very unique set that includes Shakariki Sports and Giri Chambara, and they both require other things to work. It's kind of like in that same line as the mini robots, but also a little bit different in some respects. Obviously with Shakariki Sports, you have like this full-on little bike here, which honestly is one of the best things about the set. I just really like being able to have this little thing on its own. It's kind of adorable and kind of awesome and very basic, and you can see little parts of the transformation, but still, for what it is, it's just kind of a neat little thing to have. And as I've mentioned multiple times in reviews of this line, it's kind of nice with stuff like this in the robots that if you don't want to display, you know, this on Genham, then you can actually have a, you know, way of displaying it, which is nice. And he can roll, and obviously there's this little stand here so that he can, well, stand for displays. So that's neat. I really appreciate that. Now with this, he's actually a little bit messed up because this is supposed to go here. This is the little robot form already falling apart. I was just going to mention, the worst thing about this set is this dude falling apart in this robot mode, because this is supposed to essentially be along the same lines as Gekitatsu robots, Jet Combat, all that stuff, these little robots. And this one, I like the look of him in general. Oh my god, I'm gonna lose it. In general, like in terms of like if you see him in the show, I think the robot look is just fine for him and stuff like that. But this toy will not stay together for me. I don't know if it's mine. It's got to be a little bit of way engineered because it's a thing held together by very small pegs. But it looks pretty basic. I think even without the design problems, it's the most basic looking one. It just doesn't quite have as much personality as the other ones for me. Like I said, in general, at the base of it with the show and like not the toy, I mean not that the toy's bad looking, but I mean I do like the design of it. It's just this is so difficult to deal with. I mean, just, you know, doing the practice runs and getting this ready for the review, how many times that happened. I would like think about blinking in a minute and this would fall off, and that's really annoying. So that's probably the worst thing about this, and I'm just gonna let him fall apart because I'm done with him. So that's what you're going to want to do anyway, is separate all his pieces for this transformation. So I'm going to set those aside. I'm actually going to do Genham's first, but just know that for that you do want to, you know, separate those. Okay, so we got Genham in here. Basically, I'm just going to, what you do first is you lie Genham down, let him take a nap. No, but this is real easy. Just take off the little stand. You're not going to need it. Take off this wheel. Let the camera actually focus on this. And basically, like the others, flip this around, and you're basically going to pull this out, chest, headpiece, headpiece, there you go. And basically, it just goes kind of upside down on top of them. That sounded, but you know, kind of like the robots, it's just a little bit different. There's little secure things on top, these little pegs that go in there like that. So it functions very similarly. It's just kind of a bit skinnier, I guess. And then this goes flush against his head, kind of very similar to Gekitatsu robots in a way. And this is going to stick out, and then take this, and this goes in his hand like a weapon. You remember how he threw this, and that's pretty much it. That's fine. I mean, I think this looks okay. It's definitely a little clunky looking. I think if we ever do a figure art version, it'll look better, but it's nice and simple. And honestly, the main reason I like this piece is for the whatchamacallit. Actually, I'm gonna want to plug this in here. There you go. Plug that little peg in there so it's bending down. But anyway, the main reason I like this piece is for the individual bike mode. Like, I'm not a fan of this mode in general. I think Genham's look is so awesome, and then he just comes off as so non-threatening when he wears a fluorescent bicycle. But yeah, this is fine. I think it's very simple, functions easy. It doesn't look the best in this mode for me, but I just like having the individual one. Okay, so now we get this beautiful blank space, but so this is going to be a bit interesting. We're actually going to be able to combine this with the Giri Chambara parts and make a somewhat humanoid thing, which is kind of neat. It's probably one of the more interesting things in the line. So for prep for this, you're just going to take off the wheels from both ends, and then flip this around, and then fold it down, and there's this little tiny little like lip in here that's going to kind of secure onto here. It's not going to completely secure when you're transforming it. There's a good chance it'll pop out every now and then, but that's basically what you're going to want to do. Now for these pieces, you're going to knock over Genham back there because he killed this dude. Take this little piece off, that's going to be the helmet. This piece around here is supposed to have two. Where's the other one? Because this happened to me when I first got it too. There we go. One of the leg/arm pieces here, it kind of holds onto it when you're transforming it. Like I said, sometimes that can just be an isolated issue, so it might just be mine that always happens with, but not a big deal. Just put it back around. I might have to take it off again anyway, but that's going to go around here, and it's going to, actually might just take it off again anyway. Yeah, and it's going to clamp around the sides, kind of like a belt version of the securing of the shoulders. There's little slats here that go on here, and so you can attach the belt and it secures it on there. He's got creepy eye crotch now, yay! So basically, like, the arms become legs and the legs become arms. So these were the feet on that, and you just straighten them out and now you have hands, even right down to have the full functioning little articulated fingers. And those are going to snap on the side here after you pull the shoulder blades up. Shoulder blades? It's Beyblades. So the best way I found to do it is to, like that, straighten it out and use it from here. If you try to push it in like that, the shoulder pads will come off fairly easily. Where's the other one? That's a shoe. That's a shoe. It's a foot. So yeah, straighten it out. There you go. Actually, don't want to do that just yet. Almost didn't even follow my own advice. Okay, so yeah, there you have it. The feet have now become full-on hands. He looks really crafty there, the way he's got those open. And then these here, which were the fists, are going to be the feet. And it's basically as simple as pressing these upwards out of the, or downwards, not upwards, downwards, so that they become more like feet. Or upwards, pressing these upwards so that they can plug in. Where's the other one? Same thing here. Press it upwards so it'll be able to plug in, and it's going to plug in right here at the bottom. Wait, where'd the other one go? I already lost it. And then of course make sure the legs are separated here so they actually kind of function as legs. And then the last piece you're going to want to do before we grab his little weapon that he came with is, first of all, make it so he can stand. That's probably the most important bit. Is this little piece here is going to attach right here. You'll see that there's little pieces to attach them. It just may take a quick second. Alright, that's good enough. And then he does indeed come with, if you can you stand? Okay, where is it? His weapon, the Gashikon Sparrow or Arrow or whatever. And it can separate into the dual mode. And hey, you can give it to Dangerous Zombie later after he kills this guy and takes it. But so that's a thing. That's nice. You get the two different modes. See if I can actually get this in his hand. Alright, and that's pretty much about it. Very interesting indeed. You do get a little bit of articulation, pretty standard. You want to be kind of careful you don't pop it out, but you do get some articulation there. A little bit bending, a little bit solid movement. Same thing around here. You basically get roughly the same articulation. You can even move the feet back and forth a little bit. It's just a little bit hindered because it's almost like a builded figure. Oops, I didn't mean for that to happen. In a lot of ways, so it's weird. Obviously, you can't move the head since it's a mask fixed onto a bike face, so that's a thing. The weapon is just flailing out, but you do get a little bit of posability, which is nice. It's gonna look kind of awkward no matter what because you can't move his head to change the direction he's facing, but still, it's interesting, and I think it's honestly one of the most interesting things to come out of this line. Quick sidebar, because I always forget to mention it in these reviews, but this does also include the alternate driver to put on the front that not only shows the two gashats, but pops that off, but gives it a driver period that's not painted on. I don't know why I always forget to show that, but yeah, that's a thing. Sorry, for sure. And I give him props for pulling this off, because they could have easily just made this figure a bike that did nothing but bike stuff. But not only did they make it a bike that the other riders could ride, specifically X-Aid, but it functions with the original X-Aid to create level 1 form, and it functions with this to, you know, become level 3, which is neat. It's kind of a feat. It's a little bit messy. I still really hate how flimsy the little robot is when I'm trying to work with them, but I kind of dig this. It's not the absolute best representation, but this rider is a little bit clunky to start with, and I'll commend them for, if you do have these multiple things, it's quite a bit of fun. So I think this is probably one of the neater points of this line for me, even if it is a bit messy. But anyway, that's about it. Until next time, make sure you check out the Crazy Podcast at writersrangeandrambles.com, and of course, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Till next time, Dawson Rider, signing out.